Organic house is like a mix between deep house and down tempo. If you give me a track and I put your track, I can put some other things to build the track differently with the Ableton. I have a lot of loops and vocals.
Hello. We're in restaurant Borgo, and yet another PCR.fm podcast is about to start. My guest today is from a very warm country called Mexico. Eduardo McGregor, hello.
Hello, man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to have you in Estonia. I'm guessing it's your first time, right, now being here.
In Estonia, this is my second time, but I was in Tallinn just for 1 day. So basically, yeah, I spent right now 3 days in Pärnu, and I'm really excited for tomorrow, for the show for tomorrow. And the city here is amazing. I was just fascinated with all this.
But you've been here a couple of days. What's the main difference that you can distinguish between Estonia and Mexico, or maybe your hometown and then Pärnu? What's the main difference?
Well, my hometown, Pärnu, is kind of similar in some ways. I mean, obviously the weather is extremely different. The weather is extremely different, and the architecture is actually quite different, but the vibe is very similar. It's very quiet, it's very peaceful. I would love to live here. I was talking with Joel about it yesterday. And I hope to come back here in summer because I hear so many things about the summer here.
Yeah. Let's talk about music. The main thing that you promote yourself as is an organic house DJ. For people who are not really familiar with the term, what is organic house?
Well, organic house is like a mix between deep house and down tempo, but organic house comes around 10 years ago because it was more focused on the minimal deep side. And one of the pioneers of that was Lee Burridge. Lee Burridge find like a gap between the minimal deep sound and the deep house sound. And he started to mix between those styles and add some like instruments, you know. There are instruments in the sounds, but you make that on the computer or it's not like you don't need to be a violinist or a musician. You just need to know how to play the keyboard and put the things on the Ableton. So it's basically some mix between, it's more a melancholic deep house, basically.
But not actually progressive house.
No. Hernan Cattaneo and Nick Warren, they play something called like progressive organic house. Which is the mix between organic and progressive. Is the same thing that organic house mixed with deep house, but now is with progressive house. It's like the bass and the drums and the kick, the basic elements from progressive house, but with the melancholic stuff from the organic house. It's kind of tricky right now. 3 years ago, it was not so tricky. Right now, it's very tricky. It's like, you play organic house, well, I play deep organic house. And you say to another DJ, you play organic house, well, I play progressive organic house. So it's kind of tricky right now. Even in Beatport and stores, you never know what is this. So, I mean, it's like everything sounds very similar between those styles.
But how do you feel when people get them mixed up? Like, I know a lot of people who play techno, and when somebody says I play melodic techno, but it's actually progressive house, this techno is usually they get angry even. How do you feel about people getting these styles confused or these styles getting so mixed up with each other that they get confusing?
Well, I think if you're not a producer and you're not 100% in focus on that, you can miss a lot. Of course, you can say to new disco or deep house that is techno. That's very stupid. But I think some people confuse those kind of types because they are similar. It's like, for example, melodic techno. For me, sounds like kind of trance, old school trance. Of course, peak techno and techno are very different. But there are some people actually in my country, everybody says sometimes like, I want to hear techno, and they start to listen tech house or deep house.
That's the same in Europe and in the US right now as well. That's why I sort of like touched on that subject. What's the like most popular electronic music style in Mexico right about now? Because we don't hear a lot about the scene there. We still have these backwards ways of thinking that it's all these bands, how do you call them? In the Desperado movie, mariachi bands, mariachi bands. So we still think that the Mexico is filled with mariachi bands. What's the main like electronic music scene there?
Electronic. Well, the electronic music scene in Mexico is really great. It's really big. They have a lot of styles. It depends which part of the country. I think in the center is more like deep house, tech house. In the north is more like techno, 100%. At least is what I see. And in the south, Tulum, which is the main thing in Mexico, is basically Afro house, organic house, and melodic techno. Those three styles are the main thing in Tulum, and Tulum is the bigger, like the bigger scene in Mexico. So yeah, you need to be, for example, if you're on the center, you know that probably you will listen more techie sounds or deep house sounds, and in the north, indie dance and techno, and in the south and Tulum, Afro house and melodic techno. But probably right now, the main thing will be, because it's really mainstream, is Afro house.
Okay.
Because high music, those new guys, this kind of music that brings new people that probably don't like the music, but they are there for the party or for the pictures or the videos or the Instagram.
Have you thought about it? Why it differs so much geographically? Like even within Mexico, that you have different music scenes dominating different parts of the country. Why is it like that? Is it because of the people? Is it because of the geography? Like what's Tulum like? What's Tulum like? Is it? I've never been to Tulum. That's my little problem. But is it like a sort of like a beachside resort or?
Yeah, Tulum is like it's a city in the south of Mexico, that is very important in the music industry all around the world. In Tulum, they have incredible festivals, 1 month of festivals. You have Afterlife, some events. It's incredible, crazy. The thing with Tulum is that it's more like a tourist city by far. It's not, I know so many Europeans that lives in Mexico, in Tulum, just in Tulum. And I don't have like Mexican friends in Tulum. I have Mexican friends in Tulum, but they live outside of Tulum because Tulum is really, really expensive, actually, really expensive. It's maybe because of that. And Mexico is a big country, so it's like a really big country. So you have too many styles, maybe because of that. And in the north, I don't know why in the north they listen techno and hard indie dance, even hard techno. Maybe it's the culture. I don't know. I really don't know because I don't live there. But I know that they listen not just, but mainly techno and hard techno and indie dance.
Indie dance, even that's a weird addition to this techno scene.
The new dark, like a dark. Well, probably another one is dark disco. Everything around dark things, like techno and dark disco and indie dance. But the indie dance, the indie dance that kind of Maceo Plex play, for example, that kind of indie dance.
So it's sort of like the Berlin of Mexico, exactly.
Exactly. There's a lot of Mexicans that play and go to Berlin for that kind of music.
Have you ever been to Berlin?
Yeah.
Have you been to Berghain or any of these these places as well, Treasure or?
No. I was in Watergate, and I play in Bergit. It was really good, really good. I play my stuff. In Berlin is really open to listen everything. It's not. I was thinking, damn, Berlin is all about techno, but no, Berlin is more open. It's like they have everything: down tempo, house, tech house, vinyl sets, minimal deep, techno, of course, hard techno, psychedelic, and everything. Maybe not Afro house, but
that's more London's theme, yeah.
I'm not a fan of Afro house. I mean, I like it, and I sometimes play Afro house, but I'm not a big fan of Afro.
You've had a long journey until you become a DJ. Some people might even not know what type of a musical journey did you go through. Like, walk us through it. How did you start making music? What type of music, and how you ended up in house? Because I know you're an actual musician as well.
Yeah. Well, I remember I was in music since I born. I started with the drums. Probably around 12, 13 years old. I was more focused in rock and grunge, Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots and all that kind of. I have my band with my friends, and we made a couple of gigs in the city and in the next city, Merida City, which is around 1 hour away from 2 hours away from my city. So we are like, we're like kind of rock star, but no. Around 15 years old, I was taking the things a little bit serious, and I started to study jazz. And I focused on that, and I started my career on that, and it was a long journey with jazz, with drums. Only drums. I mean, jazz, but I was only played drums. And I think I one time I said, like, because I always have the that kind of influenced by electronic music. I listen to electronic music in my car because back in the days, I'm talking about early 2000. A friend comes to Europe. I think goes to Paris, I think. And when he come back to my city, he showed me a couple of CDs with music from Saint Germain, Café del Mar, Buddha Bar, Global Underground compilation with John DeWitt and Nick Warren, Dave Seaman, blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh, this sounds really weird. I started to listen, and I was like, man, this music is incredible, blah blah. But I was in my jazz world, But when I go to, I don't know, in my car driving, I listen to just electronic music. And when I have free time, I'm just listening to electronic music. After many years in jazz, one day I was like, I think it's time to move on because I really love electronic music. I really love. One time I said, well, let's try, Of course, I received a lot of critics from my friends and family around because I already have a stable career as a jazz musician, and I quit everything just to go to electronic music. So it was like a very risky step, but
Paid off.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
much better than
uh,
than with jazz.
I'm thinking of jazz drummers. I always come back to the movie Whiplash.
Yeah.
How much is a jazz drummer's life different than in this movie? Like, was it so hardcore studying jazz drums?
I love the movie.
Okay.
I really love the movie. It's one of my favorite movies in the last couple of years. Also, Birdman. Birdman have like a soundtrack only basic in drums, and the drummer from the soundtrack is Antonio Sanchez from Mexico. Is an amazing drummer. It's a genius. But talking about Whiplash is kind of
Over dramatized.
yeah, for sure, 100%. I mean, the blood in the hands, but it's impossible.
Yeah. You never played 12-hour straight rehearsal sets to get one song.
No, and if your hands, I mean, you have problems after 2 hours, 3 hours, but blood is impossible. Well, at least if you have a bad technique or something. But the thing is that is true from that movie is that you work and you train every day. Yeah, some people 2 hours, 3 hours, 1 hour. Some people 10 hours, 8 hours. But yeah, it's a very difficult work. It's very it's super hard. Yeah, I mean, of course, the Whiplash movie is over the top, but there are some things that probably are true.
Like, do you play drums even for your own sake nowadays? Still, yeah. So you're still on your game. You're not rusty or anything.
No. I mean, yeah, I'm not the same anymore. But I have my drum set. Actually, I buy a new drum set last year, and I play not every day, but when I go to the studio, because I live. My studio is in the first floor of the house of my parents' house. When I go to the studio to make music, electronic music, I saw the drums and I see the drums and I think, let's play, So basically, I play 2-3 times per week. I mean, I'm not the same anymore, but I'm not rusty. I still play and I still love it. I really love it. The thing with jazz is that, and as a drummer, and the difference with the electronic music and the jazz world is that it's not. I don't want to say that nobody listens to jazz, but there is a small percentage,
It's a niche kind of music, so to speak. Yeah.
And when you're talking about it, you realize that the money is very different. It's very hard, extremely hard to live as a jazz musician.
Well, you have to spend or basically divide your salary amongst yourselves as well. It's 5-6 people instead of one person.
Yeah, and the gigs are very different. Sometimes you play in the restaurant, and sometimes you play, it's nice venues and things like that, but usually the crowd is 50, 100 max, And in electronic music, you play every weekend, like for a lot of people, and there is much more money, and you can live if you're if you have a good career, if you are a good producer and DJ, you can live as a DJ and producer. As a jazz drummer, you can live, but you need to work 10 times harder than that.
Can you incorporate your previous jazz experiences? Of course, you incorporate it whilst producing, since you know the scales and stuff like that. But jazz is like a fluid type of music, and house is four times four.
The four, yeah.
Yeah. How do you incorporate your previous jazz or band knowledge into your current production?
I think that when I start to make music, the electronic music, the things that I notice, like it's so easy for me to make rhythms, extremely easy, because I'm a drummer. So I started to incorporate like more percussion stuff, more drum fills, more groovy, you know. And that was the easy part for me. Then you need to check the mix down thing, the technical stuff. Was the hardest part for me was the technical part, because working with a computer. I was, as a drummer, you work with microphone in the studio and you play and someone record that and everything is perfect. Now you need to do that to translate that to the computer. That's the main problem. Translate your ideas to the computer. I was struggling for sure for a couple of years with that. And then everything goes well.
It all went to the right place. Yeah. Right. You've been in a lot of countries touring around the world. What's the weirdest experience that you had, like during tour, or which country is something that you remember that something weird happened?
There's a lot of weird stuff. Well, I don't want to say the name of the country.
Okay.
But it was last summer. I mean, I was in my hotel room and they knocked the door and, "Hey, Eduardo, the promoter sent you this," and it was a lot of cocaine and pills and a bottle of whiskey, because I always drink whiskey before I play. And I said, no, I don't use drugs, so I just grabbed the whiskey. "And you need anything more, anything else?" And, "Oh, I'm okay." And then after like 20 minutes, another guy comes to my room and knocked the door and with the same coke, pills, and whiskey. I said, "What happened?" I told the other guy that I just want the whiskey. "Oh, they told me to give you all this to you." And I was, no, okay, but I will take the whiskey too. And then after 15 minutes, they knocked the door again, and I was the first guy with two girls. "Eduardo, you need girls or something?" And I was, no, I'm okay. I think I would want to sleep a little bit, and then I will call to the promoter. So, okay. Then another 15 minutes, the other guy with two different girls. And I was like, this is starting to get weird, you know? "No, I'm okay. And then I received a message from the promoters like, "Eduardo, are you sure? Okay. If you don't like the girls, you can talk with us if you like boys." And I'm like, no, I don't like boys, but I don't want girls right now, you know? And that's one of the weirdest experience. Yeah.
But great hospitality. So.
Yeah, great hospitality.
Yeah, you mentioned like you don't do drugs. There's not a lot of DJs nowadays in the underground scene that don't do drugs. How have you managed to stay off it, or are your parties just in the past, so to speak? So you've done everything you wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not
too young, probably.
Oh,
Around
well,
16 years old.
Yeah, that's a different culture, so to speak. In Mexico, I'm guessing these things start in the teenage years, like normal drinking. So you're not like our last guest was completely sober, so to speak, usually. So you still party, but not that hardy.
No, I just drink. and that's it. I drink like depends. It always depends of the party and depends if you need to travel the next day. Uh, if I need to travel the next day to play in another country or another city, I just drink like 3 beers
Mm-hmm.
or 3 whiskeys, 4 whiskeys, and that's it. If I don't have nothing to do, probably I will drink. But just when I play, I never drink in my home. I never drink with my friends. I actually I don't like the alcohol. I like the effect because sometimes a couple of whiskeys relax you to play, but that's it. Of course, when I was a teenager, I was full on drugs, uh, but I think I started too early. So now that I am old man, I'm just move away from that.
But traveling around the world, you've seen guests or people participating in your parties. I'm guessing that this culture is still going strong around the world. So it's there's no dry place right now in these places that you have performed, or maybe
Yeah.
have you performed in like Afghanistan or maybe like places in like these. What's
No,
the most conservative country that you performed at?
Mexico.
Mexico is the
No,
most,
no, it's
well, Catholic country, I can
yeah.
understand, but so Mexico is somewhat the most conservative country that you performed in.
Zurich, probably.
Okay, I
Probably.
can understand that.
Yeah, probably Zurich.
Okay, okay.
Um, yeah, because no, yeah, probably Zurich. Yeah, because London is they go party hard, so
Hmm.
same as Paris and Berlin and Munich and Ibiza, Barcelona,
Mm. What
all the cities in Mexico.
What's the city that you will go back right away, like to perform, no questions asked? What's your favorite city to perform in all, or country even?
Probably Montreal and Moscow.
Okay, Montreal and Moscow.
Yeah, Berlin too.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So mostly these large party capitals, so to
Mm.
speak. Okay, okay. Have you ever missed like a flight
No,
never?
never.
How many years have you been touring?
Not much, like 2 years.
Okay, that's yeah. If it's like if you had been performing for 10 years and
Yeah.
no missing, then it's. But still,
two
2 years.
years and a half. But I play a lot. I mean, I started in electronic music since 2014, so it's like more than 10 years ago.
Mhm.
But I was thinking that when I started with those things to make electronic music, I never wanted to play until I have some background, a lot of music, be on the best labels in the world. So I wait until I made it. So that's why I'm touring just for 2 years ago.
Mhm.
But I'm touring hard, like 3 months tour, and then go home for 1 month and another three months touring. But I'm very obsessive with the planes and the schedule.
Mhm.
So I usually arrive very early to the airports and the stations. So no, I never miss a flight.
Aren't you afraid of like burnout if you're touring so excessively right now or so intensely? Maybe some people can't handle it. They just burn out at one point. Aren't you afraid of that?
No, no. I think I'm very stable with that, and I have a very stable mind, and yeah, I don't think that could happen to me. Maybe because I partied really, really hard when I was younger. So I'm like right now I feel like an old man in electronic music, and I'm just 38. So,
But, yeah, talking about these things, there's a lot of young people trying to get into the scene, trying to be DJs, trying to be producers, whatever. What would be like your a couple of like suggestions, maybe even one to give to them?
Focus on music, because music speaks louder. I think at the end of the day, it's all about music. I know that right now is Instagram, TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I will say Facebook, but Facebook is too old.
Well, you still get to invite people to events there, so
yeah. And I have a Facebook fan page, of course. But yeah, I will say that focus more on music, because Instagram and all that social media is start to get tired for so many people, even promoters and bookings and other DJs. When I opened my Instagram and I saw those kind of videos with people with his laptop and dancing and put it. There's one thing that right now I hate this one. They say like they talk a classic. I don't know. For example, Bruno Mars. This is Bruno Mars, but in Afro House, and they put play, and they started dancing with the laptop in the beach, and I was like, this is not for me. And so many people get tired of those kind of Instagram thing, and actually the promoters too. I feel that the promoters start to change. Of course, you need to have followers and things like that, but I guess music speaks louder. If you have great music, if you are in the best labels in the world, like wherever, if you play organic house and you are in All Day I Dream or on Juna Deep, that will put you in the map. If you are a melodic techno guy and you're in Afterlife, that will put you in the map. If you are a techno guy, if you are in Drum Code, that will put you in the map. So I think music is the most important thing.
that's what got you to Estonia this week. By the time this interview will air, your set has already been played. By the time we're recording this, the set is tomorrow. Are you going to, let's say, play your regular set, or do you make like little changes when you go to different countries as well, or little changes?
Yeah, actually, that's why today I sleep around around 10 a.m. I'm sleep 2 hours. Because yesterday, today or whatever, I was around 3, 4 a.m. and I was thinking, should I change some things because of the vibe of, and actually sometimes I take a look to the other DJs. Even I'm the headliner, but I take a look to the other guys, the warm up, the opening. And I was checking yesterday on SoundCloud, a girl, Thomas Farrell, and I was listening. And I was like, okay, this guy are more progressive. This guy is more melodic. And you start to. I always make a lot of details, and I change some things before the set. And of course, when if you play, and if you feel that the people is not getting into, you have to change. And that's when I started. That was the difficult part, to if something not goes like you think, if you, because one time happened to me at the beginning, the first couple of gigs, I don't remember the first 5-10 gigs was everything was great, blah, blah, blah. But one time I was in Panama, and I feel that the people was like kind of not boring, but didn't feel the music, and I was very, very like, fuck. And it was like my 10 gig, I don't remember, so I was really new, and I changed, and I started to see the people. Okay. Now I can do it easily But at the beginning, it was very hard. And when I go to different countries, like for example, here in Estonia, I have like not a prepared set, but I have some ideas that could work or maybe not. But I have so many options because I play differently. I play with Tractor and Ableton, so I have so many options. I'm not just a
USB stick DJ.
Yeah, a CDJ that I put a track here, and then when I start to finish, I will put another track here. And no, I have so many options. Even if you gave me a track and I put your track, I can put some other things to build the track differently with the Ableton. I have a lot of loops and vocals, and of course I have the controllers and instruments that I can play and record and things like that. So it's good that I have that kind of background, you know, like if I feel that it doesn't go well, I have the tools to change everything right away.
So people in Estonia are up for a original set tomorrow. I would like to thank you for taking some time to talk with us. I wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Hopefully you'll be back in Estonia soon as well.
Yeah.
And of course, I like to thank Restaurant Borgo and Pärnu Club Radio.fm for organizing this event. See you at the next podcast. See you at the next party. Take care and bye-bye.